All right, here we go, boys and girls. Welcome
Let's do
back
it.
to Taze Kruu, the Secret Pokemon Society. Today I have Angel with Moto Soto Collectibles in Wichita, Kansas. And I
Yes,
got
sir.
Mark Kelly with iCards
iCards USA, yes, yes.
USA in Denver, Colorado.
That's right.
I'm just north of Denver. I got nothing today, boys. What's new? I got,
You got nothing.
I'm
You
just
just went
like,
to a show.
dude, I know. I got stuff to talk about. I definitely got
Sure.
stuff to talk about, but I'm just going with the flow today because I'm kind of overwhelmed by life in general right now. So
Okay.
I just want to BS with you guys because I love you guys, but
There you
I
go.
got no
I'm
serious
down.
questions today.
All right.
There's no
Okay.
serious questions. No serious questions.
I know Mark's got big news. He's throwing his own show in Denver.
That's right. Go ahead, pitch that, Mark. I saw the
Yeah,
YouTube video.
so my shameless plug. So July 26th, at the Doubletree in Aurora at 13696 East Iliff. Doors open at 9 a.m. I got tables for vendors still available. But yeah, so I used to throw shows. I used to throw like 4 or 5 a year for about 2 years consistently. And then I took 2 years off just because life happens and I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. But everybody was like, "Hey, throw shows again, throw shows again." So here I am, July 26th. Be back in the
Nice.
mix.
Heck yeah,
Very
buddy.
nice. Very nice.
And he's charging $100 a table, so super reasonable.
That's
Right.
nice.
Well,
Yeah.
look, to be fair, because I did hear your rant on one of your posts.
Yeah. I went way out in left field this week. I put out like 5 YouTube videos and I got a lot of hate.
Wow.
But look,
I got a lot of hate.
okay, so let's talk about
Yeah.
let's talk about that because all of us go to shows, right?
Correct.
Those local shows, we've gone to shows. I'm sure we've all gone out of state, wherever. I mean, so John's show, Denver Card Shows. I mean, it's the biggest show in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's not even up for debate. He's having 275 to 300 tables. So,
Okay.
and he's doing it every other month,
Okay.
and he's selling out. And he has a wait list.
Wow.
I mean, the demand
Very
for
nice.
this
At 300 a table, there's a wait list.
What?
exactly. Yeah, that's what's
300 a
crazy.
table.
300. Look,
Yeah.
300 for a 6-foot table. Not even an 8-foot table. 300 for a 6-foot table.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last time that I participated, before I stepped away, I participated in a lot of Denver card shows. I've been to a lot
Right.
of them. And I quit when I had quit, there were about 225 a table.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was because I was out, like I said, I was out of the game for a little bit, and I came
That was
back,
less than 6 months ago.
and guys were like $300.
Wow.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody that I talked to, I mean, they said they did well or did okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Huh.
and I don't know what his expenses are as far as, there's that balance, right? I mean,
Yeah. I
for
think
any of us
that's
that
it.
sell at shows, right? There's that balance of, okay, I spend this much, be it gas, lodging, the table, food.
Right. Yeah, of
whatever.
course.
So when is enough?
Right.
Yeah.
that
for sure.
that's how I feel about it too, is like I'm getting a lot of I made a video directly after
I like this. I made a video.
uh, directly after the show. I always make a
Right.
video after every single show I go to. It's usually less than 24 hours after the show where I go over my thoughts about what's going on, and I show my Pokemon pickups, and it usually
Right.
gets 100 views or whatever. For me,
Right.
it's just a fun thing I do to get the tanglement out of my brain.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? About what's going on, because if you don't talk about it, and my wife can only take so much, and so I'm
Yeah.
just but no, I got some feedback from some people who left me some nasty comments about, one of the comments I had made in my video was the same kids are constantly trying to do trade ups and interrupting you when you're trying to do deals with other people.
Right.
And I got flack for that one. because you're talking about somebody else's kids, and I'm just like, well, when they're interrupting your business and you're paying $300 for your table,
Right.
have some say about what's going on, right?
No, look,
Yeah.
that isn't the trade up challenge because that's been around for
Oh
quite
yeah, for a minute. Yeah.
yeah. So that is super annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
It's obnoxious.
it got to the point. I think I said this. I used to keep a little stack of like some base cards. You're opening packs. Inevitably, you're going to get a lot of base, and you're probably going to get a lot of redundancy, right?
Yeah.
Of some
course.
guy that's not worth nothing, right? So what I started doing before, I just tell the kids, oh, not, we're not doing that today, or no, or I'm not, whatever. But after a while, there's just so many of them, and they just like keep coming by. So the easy way is I just take those base cards.
Yeah.
But I'm like, here you go, keep your card. Boom, here's a card.
There's this one really famous YouTuber that got cooked this week because he went to a major card show.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like over 1 million subscribers, this guy. So,
Okay.
Leonhardt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He goes up to this guy at a card show and he's trying to do a trade-up challenge. And he has like a PSA 10 EV illustration rare.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy offered him like this super rare Japanese card that was worth more than that card just because he liked the guy. And he like declines that and like walks over to the other end of the table and starts asking him if he could have these old packs and stuff instead. And I'm just like, well, it's one thing when you're asking to do a trade-up challenge and you offer them something. It's another thing when they decline what you're offering them and then they ask you, well, what about this and this and this?
Right.
And that's why I decline all of them. It's because it always turns into this bullshit where they're not satisfied with what you're getting. Right. And that takes up my time from being
100%.
I don't have anything else I want to say about it. I'm just so frustrated with I made another video that's coming out Monday.
Hey,
another video I made.
Get it off your chest. Well, so usually in my experience, and again, like I know we're a little different because you do Pokemon and TCG, and I'm 99% sports. When I get the trade up challenge guys, they're usually kids. Like I don't usually get. I mean, I think there's one time where it was this chick and she was like in her 20s, and I just looked at her and just kind of laughed. I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like,
I get the guys with the beards, man.
Really?
I make like
trade up challenge.
Yeah, I make crusty comments to my wife. I'm like, that dude had a beard and he was trying to do a trade-up challenge.
No, that's different, dude.
Yeah,
that's totally different. I haven't had somebody come to me for a trade-up challenge. I mean, not a grown man. Like, they're usually kids, man. For me, my experience, average is like 12 years old. Give or take a couple years in either direction.
Yeah.
That's
for
a
me
whole
personally. Yeah, for me personally, I've had a couple on each end. Usually they are kids. I've had a couple of young adults. Let's just put them that way, right? Like in their 20s, maybe as old as like maybe 30.
30?
Yeah, at the last thing. But I mean,
crazy,
it is what it is. But they'll ask, hey, you want to do the trade up? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I know Roger has a ton of great singles that he sells. And depending on which type of show I'm going to, sometimes I don't put out all the slabs. I don't bring a ton of singles. A lot of times it's just a lot of sealed product that I'll have and that I'm selling because I know that's what's doing a decent turnover right now because people are just having difficulty getting certain product, and so am I. I just get lucky sometimes. And, I try to pick up as much as I can within reason. I'm not one of these dudes that's going to sit there at 4:00 in the morning waiting for a store to open.
It's not.
I'm not going to wait in Target for 3 hours for for the vendor to show up and like restock so I can get. No, if I just happen to be walking through a store, there's something available, I'll buy it and keep it moving. That's it. It's as simple as that, But yeah, I try to stay away from all that trade up challenge, everything like that. I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that. And I just keep it moving, man.
How do you guys feel about, okay, so what kind of annoys me is, you get these guys, of course, at every show, there's a whole bunch of guys that are always carrying their cases, right? Which is fine.
Of course.
And they'll say, do you want to trade? So it's not really a trade up challenge per se.
Right.
They want to trade, and they'll have their Zion case or whatever filled with like 40 slabs. Or I got some, got some stuff for you to look at. I mean, sometimes I'm carrying like a shoebox and shit. It's like, what are you doing? But which I don't mind.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
I saw a couple of cats like that. They had a
yeah, I'm just like, what are you doing? You got like you'll have slabs like $4,000 in the shoebox. I'm like, just spring for the case, bro. Like,
I know. Yeah.
But what bothers me about that is what they'll do is they'll put their case on your case, right? So now people walking by can't even look at your product.
Very true.
Then they're so bent on trying to trade that people are walking by and they're like trying to show you all these slabs. And I'm like, but that guy right there has cash. I want to talk to him. That's an actual customer. You're going to every dealer putting your shoebox on my case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
100%.
you want to show me 3 slabs of Gronkowski or some shit. Like, it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, read the room. I'm like, nah, we're good, bro.
Yeah.
But that I get a lot of. And I don't know if that's more of a sports thing or a TCG
no,
thing.
I think it's both. I think for me personally, it's both. It's both. 100%. Just like Roger's saying, it's definitely both. I get that all the time. People wanting to trade. What I don't like, let's just put it that way, is when someone's like, yo, I'll trade you this card that can go up or down in value, right? XYZ card for your sealed product. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you have a certain dollar figure that you've paid, a cost basis, and they're always trying to like, oh, I'll give you this card, it's worth $100. Let me get, a booster box. And I'm all like, where are you from, bro? Like, who does that? You know what I'm saying?
I made a rant video about this. I just literally
another video.
Literally, I spit out like,
man.
This one is like dedicated to the crap sellers try to pull on vendors. And one of the biggest ones is they come around with the biggest new hit, from the newest set, when it's literally 4 times what it should be.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get rid of it to offload it for more sealed product or your best slab or whatever it is.
Right.
And I'm just like, you can't be serious. That card's going to be worth a quarter of what you're asking in literally 2 months.
You know what started that? I think what really caused a lot of that is COVID. Because during COVID, if you remember, when COVID was there, where everybody was like at home and everybody was getting like stimulus checks, everybody was just watching breaks, right?
Yeah.
And that was like when I forgot
about that. There was a lot of breaks.
You could get a Joe Burrow, or like there's all that about Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert and all those guys came on that time about 3 years ago, maybe 4 tops. Yeah. And I mean, you could just pull. I mean, for raw basic cards or raw silvers were just like we're moving for high amounts, and it was just crazy. And so you got a lot of people that weren't really collectors, I don't think. Collectors of just cards, like they were just opportunists.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. The pandemic did change a lot of dynamics on how the whole entire collectibles industry as a whole was viewed and everything like that. It definitely promoted it so much more because you're right. You're at home, you're getting all these stimulus checks, you ain't got nothing to do, you can't go shopping. So what do? You turn to online, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it becomes, well, I got this stimulus check for $5,000. Let's go ahead and spend this money. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? And then you're just buying things and you're kind of feeding into the hype. You know what I mean? And
every time someone buys one of those cards, it raises the price for the next guy.
True. Very true.
Well, that becomes, and somebody that's maybe not really seasoned in the game, that becomes to them their norm. So to them, they're like, oh, this $15 card, I should be able to get $75 for this. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's not really, especially especially in like sports. I'm not 100% sure how it works with Pokemon and stuff, but like with sports, like you can't really do that, especially with modern. Vintage is a different story because vintage is pretty much going to be what it is. Barry Sanders is going to be what Barry Sanders cards are.
Yeah. Right.
But like all those quarterbacks that I said, like T-Law, Jalen, that whole class that came out, like Mac Jones and T-Law were like a big bust. People were just trying to sell those cards for hundreds of dollars. And now
one of
Well, these Mac Jones cards.
one of the thing
Right.
that cracks me up is how influencers have such a wide range of pull on Pokemon
Yeah.
sellers and Pokemon buyers because it's crazy how one influencer with like 1 million subscribers talks about some card he's holding in his hand for 5 seconds while he's sneezing, and
Yeah.
the next weekend, every single vendor at the show has 3 of those cards in his case, and they're all 20-30% more than they should be.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. It's
So how
all,
they
you know,
sell them though? Were
What's
they
that? So I imagine some of them are. They wouldn't be putting them in there. It's like
yeah.
yeah.
it's kind of funny to me, man. I think we all there's this phrase I like to use right now. It's like we're all living in a giant bubble of denial when it comes to Pokemon cards. And some people it's their own bubble of denial, and other people it's like this huge wide influence of all the intake they take in of like
Hmm.
YouTube and social media and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And
Right.
it's like they burst their own bubble because they watch so much of this stuff. They go out and spend this money they shouldn't even spend on like product that's not even that good.
Right.
And then they can't get their money back out of it. And then
Yeah.
everybody that doesn't want to buy their crap is a scalper.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's the biggest term right now that bugs me also is like
Scalper.
anytime anybody doesn't agree with the least little thing, oh, that guy's a scalper, It's like, come on,
Huh.
guys. Like,
I haven't heard that one either. That's, but but that's the gamble with any of the stuff that, like, we probably all should be buying singles, right? And a lot of guys do that. I actually do like to get into breaks. I haven't done it in a while.
Mhm.
And I like to buy sealed product. Like I like buying packs. I like buying blasters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it's the chase, right?
It is.
It's
It
the
is.
that's
Yeah.
part of it. But again, you got to know when to stop. Like
yeah,
I think, like I said, with COVID, I think it started to become like a get rich quick type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Especially with all the free money that was around from the stimulus checks. I mean, you just, everybody was collecting and not really having to work and do anything. So
Right.
it just fueled it in a not so great way. And these are all the after effects that we're getting from it.
Another thing,
It's a different generation right now too.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, like a lot of the Pokemon guys that I see are like 35 and younger,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not all of them, but a lot of them. Because even for the show, like a lot of the guys that have come in already bought tables, they're in that range. They're like that 25, 35 range.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of my sports guys, not all of them, but at more than half are like 40 and up.
Yeah. Yeah. I do notice that too.
So there's a different way of thinking about how we look at it and how we think about it. And I think Roger, you're showing your age with your frustration.
oh yeah, it's true, bro. No, you're 100% right because the industry 20 years ago had more common sense. And now we got all these big box stores getting pallets and pallets of Pokemon and all this other stuff.
Right.
And brick and mortar stores who actually teach people how to play the game can't get any.
Mm-hmm.
And the only ones to blame are Pokemon and the distributors. And these guys that go to Walmart at 4 o'clock in the morning, like we're not willing to do. The only reason they're doing it is because they're allowed to play the game that way.
Yeah. 100%.
It's not like there's a law that says this guy can't go to Walmart at 6 a.m. and buy all the packs unless Walmart's the one that limits them to it.
Right. 100%. 100%.
And almost every store I go to nowadays sells some kind of Pokemon product. So there's not, it's not like there's a huge scarcity. Like there might be a scarcity for like 1 month after release, but you could go to TCG, you could go to eBay, you could go to Walmart, you go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to almost any gas station, you can go to King Supers, like vending machines. There's no limit to how much Pokemon you can find out there. You just got to go find it, right?
Yeah.
But
supply and demand, you know what I mean? I mean, there's no balance into those big those big companies, like you said, those box stores, the Walmarts, your Targets, whatever, they don't care about anything but the bottom line.
No, they
True.
You know
the
what I mean?
reason
They're
the reason
buying-
why they're in it is to get the people in the store so they buy other stuff, not just Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
Like, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
right. So
Now I know here locally in Wichita,
Mhm.
95% of any place that sells any type of TCG product, whether it be Pokemon, One Piece, whatever, they're limiting what you can buy. So like specifically, like I just walked into a local Target over here and there's a big sign that says, even for sports cards, you are limited to 2 items
Wow.
on this whole entire wall,
Yeah.
and even though all the Pokemon is gone, all of the One Piece is gone, and there's literally, hundreds of boxes of sports cards of all the, everything, from WWE to freaking, football, baseball, hockey, everything is out there from, last year to 2025, 2024, everything.
Yeah.
And they're still limiting to 2, and that's it. That's all you could buy. Walmart does the same thing. Different Targets do the same. Barnes and Nobles, it's 4 products, 4 items, and that's it. And, so I mean, here locally for me, that is an issue that everybody's seeing, and how these scalpers are getting it, I have no idea. I've noticed probably about 4 or 5 months ago that there are certain sets of people that will come in groups, and then everybody buy their allotted amounts.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the way they're getting around it per se. What I know is when I go by myself, they're like, hey, yeah, you can have 4 products. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I buy my 4 products and go on my merry way, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
One of the things I've noticed is that if you spend enough time on like Instagram or the social media platforms, you can find people that will contact you and say, "Hey, we got a brick and mortar in New York City, and we do distribution, and here's our list of the things that we can get. All you have to do is pay us $15 a month membership, and you can get on here.
Really?
And you can get these products, and you can just be like, they already have the percentages worked out and stuff, and then you have to pay them through PayPal or friend and family, so they don't have to pay taxes on it. But it's very strange, because the first time they contacted me, I thought it was like a scam, because there's like a membership involved, So no matter what,
sounds like a scam.
yeah, but no matter what, if you order something or not that month, they're still getting their $15.
Right.
But but what that does is it shows to their distributor, because I was thinking about this for a while. It shows to their particular distributor that they're ordering through that they have this amount of intake that they need, and it's way above what a normal TCG store would need. So they allow them to have a bigger, intake
supply.
Supply, right? That was my thoughts on it, anyways.
I mean, the whole industry, the whole collectibles industry is kind of a hustle. Because, I mean, this piece of cardboard, because that's really what, this cardboard.
Cardboard for paper.
Right, cardboard for paper. But who really determines the values, like the supply and demand? We like to attribute a lot of things to it, as far as, like, okay, for instance, when you submit the PSA, okay, are the edges, the surface, the corner?
Don't get me started.
At the end of the day, it's still just...
Roger got another video on PSA. Hold on.
I do. It's coming.
It's still just a card, though. It's still just a card. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's not like it's a precious metal. It's not like it's gold. It's not platinum. They're not diamonds.
And even with that being said, even if we're changing the commodity type, something, is worth something if someone else is willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the bottom line here. If you've got a card that's $100 and guy A doesn't want to pay for it, Maybe guy B doesn't want to pay for it, but by the time you get to guy C, he may think that it's valuable enough to purchase at that price.
Exactly.
You know? So it's all a gamble. Just like you said, Mark, it's a hustle. The whole entire industry is a hustle, one way or another, the way you're looking at it. You know, if you get a card, especially back from PSA, right? And all of a sudden it's worth $500, you know, because someone has a sale somewhere, you know, on TCG, on eBay, and it's showing up that it's sold at 500. You know, now you're getting a certain value associated with it, but that card could be, you know, a sale from 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Selective.
It's very selective.
Selective marketing is what I like to call it. Someone comes up to your table with some Facebook ad they saw 6 months ago in Canada, and they think their $2 Pikachu is worth 50. You know?
Right.
Man, let me tell you, I had a sealed one piece like booster box, right? And my price was very decent. I know what I paid for it, and I only marked it up $10. You know what I'm saying? But yet I had this girl come up and she's like, oh, I need that one and that one. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I pull them off the shelf. I put them in front of her. You know, I ring it up, and then she breaks out her phone and she goes, oh, but wait, you know, yours is $120, but on TCG, I can get it for $108. And I just stopped and very politely I said, well, I think you need to buy it from TCG then.
Yeah.
And I put my product without even saying anything else, just put it back up on the shelf and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she was just like, can you match the price? And I'm like, I'm not going to match the price because I know what I paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be different if the price that I paid for it was way less than what it was going for on TCG.
Well,
I have to pay more than that. Yeah. Or right. And I'm like, dude.
She's treating you like a store.
I know.
No, well, she's like, let me talk to your manager.
Exactly. Right.
She's treating you like somebody she doesn't care about. She only cares about her bottom line. What she doesn't realize is we have our own 500 in tables, $100 in gas just to get there. We got the overhead for the people that are helping us. We got to eat. We got to feed our family.
100%.
You know, it's like
100%.
Even if she bought it from TCG, she's gonna pay shipping.
Oh yeah,
she's gonna wonder.
I pull the shipping card all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do too. Well, especially with singles. If I have a single and all of a sudden, you know, I have the price, and I'm always checking TCG market price and checking, you know, everything just to see where I'm at, and I kind of take an average of them. You know what I mean? I look at all the websites and I'm kind of taking an average and I get a good decent price. And I never if I see that the average is like, let's say $50, I may put the card at like 48, 45, you know what I mean? Right. So that I can get interest in it. But you would just not believe the people that will come up and then try to like, well, I can see here that one time it sold for $24. Right. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. If you want to go ahead and order it from somewhere else and pay the shipping and not know the condition it's in.
Exactly.
But my whole thing is you're seeing this card right here, right now.
Yep.
You're physically holding it in your hand. You don't have to wait. You don't have to worry about it getting bent in shipping, delayed, lost, or anything else. It's right here, right now. So right here, right now, that's the price. You know what I mean? But they'll still try it and they'll be like, well, if I buy 2 cards, can I get a better? And I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, that happens. We know what, so, you know, I'll have a card and the guy, you know, usually eBay is when I see a lot.
Yeah.
Say, oh, well, comps are showing it's at, you know, I'm telling it for 50. Saying, oh, comps are showing it at 40. And depending on, you know what I tell people, sometimes I said, well, let's set a new comp.
Yeah.
Let's set a new. I like that one. I might have to use that.
Let's set a new comp.
Let's set a new comp.
And that one that went for 40 is no longer available. So
very true. Very true.
You know what I mean? So because they'll show you the most recent of what that card sold. And you're like, okay, but that's gone. Or like I said before, that card sold for 40, but show me what they charge you for shipping, because shipping was probably $15.95. So really, that guy paid more than what I'm asking.
Right.
That guy paid $55 and has to wait a week.
Yep.
I'm saying 50. You can take this right now.
100%.
You know,
100% agree with you, man. And I
but
run into
that's
that all the
that's
time.
part of the game. You know, I
It
mean,
is.
usually what I'll do, if anything, if I go and buy something, I might ask the guy, "What's the lowest you can sell this for?" Like I just did that at the Denver Car Show. As a matter of fact, I got this actually. I got this slab here of Roger Staubach, right?
Okay.
Um, and I got like another card for my wife, and so together it came to like $40.
Right.
So I said, "What's the best you can do?" Just one time, one question. I said, "What's the best you can do?" He goes, I can do it for 35. I said, fair enough. And I just gave him $35.
There you go.
Like this, I'm not offended at them asking, like, but when they're really trying to just over like insult your intelligence or try to argue with you, like you said, you know, where they're just saying, well, I can get it at such and such for $108. I'm like, look.
I don't mind people asking me what's the best you can do. There's one thing in particular though that does bug me is when they know that your price is good and they still ask you what's the best you can do.
Oh yeah.
Because I had a star me I got this in a video already. I'm repeating myself. So that's fine.
I love it. I love it.
The format of your show. The whole format's got to be different.
I know. I got a Starmie V in my case, and Starmie V for weeks was $100. So
right.
I had one for $92 in my case, and it recently went down a little bit, but this was like months ago. So
yeah,
I had it for $92 in my case. I just looked it up that morning. It was right at $99.87 or something like that on TCP. Okay. So I'm like, oh, I'm market at 92. I just want to move this card because I've had it for a couple of shows now. The guy walks up, asks to see it. He looks at it for like, I'm not joking you when I say it, maybe 10 minutes the guy's looking at this card. I was thinking maybe he's going to try and steal it at this point. Right. But he's looking at the front, he's looking at the back, finally gets done looking at it, hands it back to me. He's like, what's the best you can do on that? And I was like, well, if you've been looking at these at the show lately today, you're going to know my price is pretty good. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, well, if you know, I didn't say this to him at the time, but in my brain, I'm thinking, why are you wasting my time?
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. You know what I mean? 100%.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but don't try to lowball me on something you already know is a really good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And I've told, you know, people that have come through and they're like, oh, that's your price? And then they're like, yeah. And again, they'll ask, hey, is there anything better you could do? What's your best you could do? And I just look at them and I said, hey, listen, brother, you know what I'm saying? As much as I want to work with you, I know I have good prices. Walk around, take a lap and see, and then you'll be back. And I'm like, and I'll be here. And they'll be like, oh, I'll be back. And sure enough,
here they come.
9 times out of 10, they'll come back an hour later and they'll be like, oh yeah. And when something's hot, you know, and it's just selling and good price, like the Destined Rivals. I had Destined Rivals ETBs. I had like 10 of them at the beginning of the show. The show opened up at 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, they were all gone.
Yeah.
Because I had them literally like a couple of dollars above MSRP.
Right.
I was selling them at $65. You know what I'm saying? I think they were $59, you know what I'm saying? Plus tax, which I have to pay. So I'm like, so it's like, it run me like $63. I'm charging you 65. I'm not making a ton of money off of it. I'm just bringing customers back in, you know, and I'll point it out all the time. I'll be like, look at all my prices. And I'll start pointing things out and I'll be like, hey, look. Right. I was like, we'll walk around and you'll be back. And sure enough, 9 times out of 10, bro, they'll be back. But I love it when they take their time coming back and then they're like, oh, it's all gone. Well, yeah, brother, because you slipped on it.
No, I've had that happen. I've had that happen a couple of times.
Oh man,
they'll come back and then
it's gone. You should have bought it when you had the chance. I'm telling you, it's a good price, but you didn't want to believe me. You thought I was trying to pull the wool over your eyes. You know what I'm saying? When I'm there in that same spot, you know, every quarter when they throw this thing, you know, and they've been to me plenty of times.
I'm trying something different for my next show. I got like all my profits. I figured it out, like what my profits is from the last show I was to. And normally I'll get online and I'll like try to replenish some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that at all this time.
Oh,
Like I'm taking all that cash to the show, and I'm just gonna try to make deals with people that are trying to
I
sell
see
me
what you're
stuff
saying.
at the
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah.
show
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
instead of replenish, because I feel like there probably is a small percentage better deal if I'm kind of choosy on what I'm buying. I'm probably
Yeah.
going to get a little bit better deal buying at the show than I would trying to replenish it online.
Oh, yeah. I might.
Yeah, I
I
know
agree
guys that
with
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But the thing is, now here's just me. Sorry to cut you off, Mark, but this is just
Yeah,
me. Like, so if I'm at a show, you know, there's a lot of times I don't have the time because I'm at the booth making my deals, working, working, working. There's a lot of times I don't have the time to go around and see everything that everybody has to
right.
try to make those deals.
I don't have any
That
time.
becomes, yeah, that's my thing. I just don't have the time to go ahead and do that.
Well,
Now, if it was something like I could spend an hour just walking around trying to figure some things out, then it might work,
Right.
you know?
no, I'm just talking about the people that come to my table and ask.
Oh, you're talking about, okay. So when
Yeah,
they're coming to go, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say, yeah. Cause otherwise I do have people that come to the table and they're always trying to, and I've had a lot coming recently that like, oh, we're trying to get rid of seal product, seal product. But the first thing they do is open up the TCG app and then be like, oh, so the market price is, and I'm like, no, bro,
no,
I'm not paying you market. Then how am I supposed to make my money? You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like they don't understand. Like if I'm giving you cash, I
Yep.
mean, I'm not paying market prices,
Some
but
people are
they're not, they don't hear it, bro. They just don't.
some people are very reasonable and other people are very unreasonable. And
Very true.
Right.
Very
you,
true.
And
it's
look,
like,
and at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Is if
It
somebody's
is.
reasonable? Like I said, I don't mind you asking for a deal or for, whatever to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just how are you going about it? Are you being a jerk? Are you trying to get one over on me type of situation? Like
Right.
that's that's where that's where it'll either rub me the wrong way or not. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
Somebody that's really that I've noticed a lot. There's this one guy that comes around and he's actually good. Like he'll sit at your table for a while, he'll look at a couple things, and he'll have you pull out like 10 items, right?
hmm
10
Mm-hmm.
slabs or 10 whatever. You'll tally it up and you kind of work that deal. And then he'll want, a discount of some sort or whatever. I want actually to work more with him as long as he's not trying to gouge me,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Just like, look, if you're buying 8, 9, 10 of my slabs,
Yeah.
100%.
you're trying to ask me to take 10, 12, maybe
Because
15% kind of depending on what it is,
Yeah.
to do that because that allows me to just go ahead and get rid of all that product. I'm still
Yeah.
going to
Right.
make money right then and there on all
Right.
this stuff so I can go get new stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I could make more money if I sold each item individually, but the chances of selling those 10 slabs today is probably not going to
right.
happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
I
I'm like, if you want to
actually,
buy all of these, that's actually how you do it.
Mm.
yeah, I actually appreciate that quite a bit when people do that because it doesn't feel like they're haggling you for like a small increment. It's
Right.
like, okay, I'm going to move some stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's liquid for me, but I'm also going to move these 5 things that I've probably had for quite a few shows now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to bundle it. And yeah, I'm going to be more willing to give them a break on that, just
Right.
in general as a
You
vendor.
don't feel nickel and dimed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
You
true.
know, guys
Very
will
true.
haggle with you for $3. I'm like, it's $3, bro.
Oh my God.
It's $3, but
Yeah.
it's just
Listen,
yeah.
So I got a little story, man. I got a little story. We were up in Kansas City at a card show. All right. And I'm vending, of course. And I had this guy walk up, and he's got his little, I don't know, your little man purse, right? Whatever. He's got all his money and shit, and he's got like some nice rings and shit on. He had a big old chain with diamonds. And I'm like, all right, cool, right? And he's like looking at my cards, and man, you just don't expect like certain things that are certain people, and when you come to my booth, you can see my setup. I got my square, I have a cash register, I have like, my barcode scanner, I have a receipt thing because I charge tax and whatever locale I'm at is what I'm doing, right? So everything's just like a store. Like if you walked into Target or Walmart or anything, right? And the kid comes up and, my stuff's all barcoded. He looks at it, looks at the price, and it was a $4 card, right? A $4 card. He opens up his little man purse thing, pulls out a stack of money, right? And I'm all like, okay, and here we go, right? And he's like, so can I get that card for $3? And I was like, no, it's $4, right? You're gonna pull out a wad of money and ask me for a discount.
Yeah.
Like you're buying, a lot of my stuff. It would have been different, like you said, if he was buying 10 slabs.
I'm not the only one.
A $4 card.
Right.
And he's all like, can I get it for $3? And I'm like, no, it's $4. And he's like, all right, $4. And then the minute I said plus tax, this cat just got up and go, oh no, I can't pay the tax too, and walks away. And I was like, oh my God, bro. But he was counting out his money and everything out of this big wallet. And I'm just like, bruh, you're just a poser. Like yeah, it's like 40 cents, man. And I was just like, I don't, what? Like, I just don't comprehend it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, if I walk into a store, I'm already like expecting, hey, yeah, I gotta pay tax, I gotta pay this, whatever the case is.
This is called these vendor fatigue,
up, oh my God, bro!
Because the exact same things,
man.
Week one into being a vendor, you don't give a crap about this stuff. But week 10, you're like, all right, and then by month 10, you're like,
yeah,
this mother truck is over 40 cents.
I gotta laugh, man, because
you have to.
I can understand if it was like a kid, right? Like a kid, like I'm talking about, like, he's like 6, 7, 8 years old. Right. He's got his couple of dollars from an allowance.
Yeah.
Right. Like those kind of kids I always take care of. Right. Like I'm like, oh yeah, and they'll come up and they'll try, like, I like that card. How much is it? I'm like, oh, that's a $2 card, and I'll wind up throwing in a free card, so they get some value out of it, because I want to nurture that type of thing in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're an adult and you come up flashing your money at me like you're, I don't know, we're trying to compare, sizes here. I'm just like, bruh. And then you haggle over 40 cents?
Yeah.
Dude, seriously?
Yeah.
I can't do it,
man.
The
trade-up challenge is crazy to me when you said a whole bunch of adults are coming to you. I'm like, adults?
Yeah.
Dude, I got it in my videos all the time. Like, there's some 30, 40-year-old guy coming up with a beard asking me to do a trade-up challenge.
you need to make, because that's true, I've seen your setup, so you do have that camera running all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does.
You need to make some type of, just some type of collage or whatever they call it, where just
compilation of trade-up
of like
that would take me a minute.
Hits and misses, man, and just to do a whole show of just all these guys that are just grown-ass men, just all the crazy stuff that happens. Like, make that video.
Oh man, that would take me so long.
I could just see the hate on that, man. I could just see someone watching that video and going, "Damn it, that's me," and just blowing your spot up.
Man.
Oh yeah, no,
that would be awesome. But I mean, really, how much could you blow somebody up? I mean, you're the one that's 40, asking for the trade-up challenge. Like,
true.
Man.
I mean,
it's very true.
You're not making it up. It's like, yeah, this was you, Bobby. This was you.
Yeah, right.
You made the choice, Bobby. You made the choice.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah, I don't know, man. The trade-up challenge, it's just, it's definitely not my thing. Right. So I try to steer away from it as much as possible.
So I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, couldn't make it home at, I believe it was noon. We tried to get some tickets for Pasadena front row.
Oof. How'd that go?
Like, same thing. You log in, you're on time, you're right there at noon. You click on the button to hit, 2 tickets, blah, blah. By the time you hit 2 tickets, hit pay now, it's sold out.
Oh yeah,
Pops
yeah.
up sold out. So I don't even know what to make of it. I'm very, I feel blessed that we were able to get into the Vegas one earlier this,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so we're kind of locked in on that one. But
Got you.
doing like any of the other front rows or the other big ones like Dallas or
Mm-hmm.
Lexicon, I think you kind of have to at this point know somebody or know one of the scalpers that's buying all the tables and then
That's something. Yeah, man.
subletting them out.
Yeah,
Hmm.
something.
Is that a thing? That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a big problem, especially
Oh.
with Collecticon, is a lot of these guys are getting like 10 or 20 tables and
Yeah, they rent
subletting
out
them.
a pod. They rent out the entire pods that they
Yeah,
have. I notice a lot of times. Yeah, that is very
Oh
true.
wow.
yeah. And
And then you,
it's against the terms of service for damn sure, but that's not stopping them from doing it.
well, you know what I found interesting. I'm not going to mention the shows or anything, but I was at a show
Yeah,
and and it was recent in the last 6 months, and there was basically what went on, which just what you're describing. So the way they got around that was that when they rented out the entire pod, which was about, I think, 20 tables all the way around, they put their table covers on all of them. And then it was just different people showing up,
yep,
and you could see the dude paying the other dude that was in charge
yeah,
and then setting up at the table and then, doing their thing, because half the time, half the tables were empty. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So I was like, at
That's
first I was like, man, this guy got a lot of employees. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it didn't dawn on me at first. And then
yeah.
about an hour into the show, after going around a few times, I said, oh, that's not what's going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that is the
Interesting.
one
thing.
that's one thing that doesn't happen at front row that I've noticed.
Oh, that's good. That's
They're
good.
very, very strict. And
Huh.
if you pack up before it's time to go home, you're not
Mm.
invited to the next show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's crazy because each table, like if the three of us set up at the same show and they put us all in the same row,
Yeah.
Yeah.
each table and vendor kind of has a different look, a different vibe.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. 100%.
Like your cases are probably a little bit different than mine. Your setup is probably a little bit different. Like the quality of the product. Like I always sit up next to my buddy, and he always has vintage football, and his stuff is just top dollar stuff. And
Right.
most of my stuff is modern, and it's like that middle of the road. It's that 40, 50, $60.
Right.
Whereas his is like that 400, 600. You know what I mean? So for a guy to buy a whole pod, you could tell if it was really him with the whole pod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I'm
You
saying.
know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
these guys all look different. Like the
Yeah.
pod
Yeah.
looks very
That's
So
exactly what happened.
yeah.
So true. There was this one guy at front row that I want to try to emulate at some point.
Mm.
But I was talking to him. He had one, two, three, four. He had 6 tables in like a U shape, two
Okay.
and two on each side. On the one side and the front side was just all singles behind glass, but
Okay.
like the sloped up kinds. And
Yeah.
then on the right side, he had 2 guys sitting there, and all they did the whole show was just buy product from people coming by.
Oh,
And
that's an
then,
interesting setup. Yeah.
yeah, and then he had, I think it was probably his wife and him that would run the two halves,
Yeah.
selling the singles and stuff. But I
Mhm.
was like, man,
That's the setup.
That is.
I don't know how much
Hard
he's
to do
paying
one
those
man
guys,
show.
but
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, Angel, is it just you, or do you have employees, or
No, it's I show up. It's me and my son. So I mean,
Okay.
he's gonna be 16. And that gives me a little bit of flexibility. You know what I'm saying? Because
Sure.
that a lot of times when you get the younger kids, sometimes there's a little bit of hesitation. They don't want to talk to an older dude. Now, I'm even older than Roger. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest guy here. You know what I mean? Roger's a
I don't know how I
baby.
feel
You know what I mean?
about that.
You know what I'm saying? So I a lot of times the younger kids don't want to necessarily interact with me in
Right.
that sense right off the bat. So my son has, that demographic that he'll cover. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if he sees a young kid come up, I'll just be like, go ahead, do your thing. And he'll start talking about, everything, all these anime and manga. And he just gets in their head like that because he can relate to them.
Right.
When they start asking me questions about, oh, did you see episode, 300 of something, I'm like, bro, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I got One Piece behind me. Is that what you're talking about? Or I like it when they tell me the character and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many Pokemon that I'm like, I don't know them all. You know what I mean? And they're like, that's the Pokemon right there. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It's
you know what I mean?
rare
Like,
that happens to me, but it does still happen to me.
Oh man, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. They're all like, I'm looking for, and I'm like, huh?
Let me Google that real quick.
Exactly. Let me look this up and see exactly what this looks like.
Right.
So, maybe one day.
I had a unique experience that I'm going to tell you right off the bat. This is not something I'm going to do again. But I noticed on Whatnot that there's a lot of like Labubu craze going on. Have you heard of those things? Labubus?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have, right?
I'm like watching my wife as she's watching like these guys on Whatnot auctioning off these Labubus, and they're going from between $60 to like $400 for like one of these stupid dolls. One like this.
You got one.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, that's crazy. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because a buddy of mine was talking to me earlier today and offered me a new point of view on the situation. So let me tell you what I did. I went online and I ordered $600 worth of Labubus from China.
Okay.
Not authentic.
Oh.
Okay. And I'm like, well, if I can get them for a certain price point, then I can still sell them for literally a tenth of what these other guys are selling them for, and they look exactly the same. So I go to the Denver Card Show, and I set up a little sign that says, Labubus, not authentic, $15. Right?
Okay. So they know they're getting a bootleg, essentially.
Yeah, they look.
Yeah. You have to put it. Yeah, you have to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
And like literally, like 30 minutes into the show, I'm getting complaints from like different people, and then they told John Scanlon, the guy that runs Denver Card Show, and he's like, dude, look, I don't care if you sell these things. As long as you're telling people that they're not authentic. I'm like, look, there's a sign right there. Right. Not authentic. I ended up selling like 75% of them.
Wow.
And so I was like, I want to let you guys know that's a thing. But at the same time, I'm not going to go get more of them because a buddy of mine was talking to me earlier today, and he's like, hey, I agree with what you're saying in your video about how it's annoying, blah, blah, that other people, but he's like, what if somebody set up a table right next to yours and they were selling fake Pokemon cards? And
yeah.
And so I was like,
I get it. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, excuse my French, but that's kind of how I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay.
We had
because I kind of took them like a joke product. I didn't really take them seriously because I remember we had like the trolls in like the late 80s, early 90s trolls with all the different hair.
Yeah, the hair,
And I'm like, anyways, that's my story for the week on that one.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one. I mean, I get it, but as long as you announce that this is not authentic and you had the sign.
100%. Agreed.
And the only reason why I say that is because, I'm not going to say his name, not while we're recording anyway, but you guys will probably know him. He's a guy that comes to the shows too, and I'm really cool with him. And he sells a lot of jerseys, right?
Okay.
And, he'll sell whatever. Any jersey you want. Kobe, Jordan, right? Just whoever. for whatever sport, right? He's selling a lot of Deion Sanders jerseys, just the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
And he's selling these jerseys for like $40 a pop.
Okay.
But they're also from China, and they're not authentic. They're not authentic Nike, Reebok, Champ, none of that.
Right, right.
But he's like, no, he's letting you know that, hey, this jersey is not, official licensed.
And that's the that's the funny thing is, like, if you ever go to
people buy those jerseys from him all the time.
Yeah. I was watching this video of this guy that went to Taiwan, and they have like these gigantic outdoor markets. And the reason I thought about this is because you brought up the jersey thing. There's this married couple that has this huge outside stall, and they're all covered in case it rains, because it rains in Taiwan a lot, apparently. Okay. And they got like every jersey you can think of, and the guy's buying them for like $20 each, and he's like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I'm just like, those countries just thrive off of every time we make something over here, just like recreating it.
Yeah, they replicate it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Of course. And, yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on that whole thing too. The example that you put, that you said, like, hey, what if someone started selling fake Pokemon cards in the stall next to you?
Right.
And we've had a couple of people at different shows, that have sold a couple of cards that weren't real,
Yeah.
And I tell people, I was like, did they tell you they weren't real? And I've had mixed reactions. Some people say, no, I didn't know that. And I'm like, and then other people are like, oh no, yeah, they told me like 100%, these are like custom cards, whatever you want to call it.
Custom cards is the,
and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because I think if you're misrepresenting the product and saying, oh yeah, these are real, and trying to get real price, you know what I'm saying, and selling it, that's just bad juju. That's a no. Well, like you said, if you did exactly like you did, you have a sign out that says, hey, these are not authentic. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just replicas, custom, whatever wording you want to use. And that's big enough for everybody to see. And as you're pulling that little boo-boo off the shelf and you're going, this is not authentic.
I did do that.
Here you go.
Every time.
Then I don't see the issue in that. Because even now the buyer already knows, hey, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's not authentic.
Yeah.
They're doing that with that knowledge already there.
Because I was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
My thought process behind it was like, parents who have younger people in the family are not going to want to pay $60 to $100 or $400 for the Labubu.
Yep.
When they have an option to just buy them for $15.
Yep.
And the kids will never know the difference. Like, they're exactly,
100%.
And so that was my thought process. My buddy gave me another thought process. I don't know that I feel guilty about it, but I will say that I'm not going to do that again.
Right. Got you.
I will say this. So I guess I do have. So there was a time when. So you guys know who Pat Tillman is, right? So there was a Pat Tillman downtown. And that card easily goes for $1,000, right? Give or take $150 either direction. And I had a Pat Tillman that I bought off of eBay, but it was a replica. It wasn't, and I knew it was a replica. And the guy was even because he had an auction, I ended up spending like $30 on it or something.
Right.
And when it got up to, because I just wanted one. And when he said, this is a replica, right? Because he's like, just don't, because I jumped the price from like, whatever, $15, and I just like doubled it to 30 just so I could scoop it up real quick.
Right.
It's a replica, right? And I said, yeah. And I thought about it, selling it. And I told my buddy, I said, I could probably sell this and say there's a replica like this guy did. I said, because a lot of people like this card and just to have it, just like how I did it.
Yeah.
And he says to me the same thing. He's like, well, I said the same that you were saying. I was like, well, I have, I can put a sign on it and let them know, like, hey, this is not a legit whatever. Pat Tillman. And he said something. He goes, even then, you don't want to do it. And he goes, this is why. He says, in the hobby, reputation is everything.
I was just about to bring that point up.
So
when Roger was talking, I was just about to bring that up.
I never
just
sold
about
it.
to
I
bring that
still
up.
got it, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll put it in my case, but I won't sell it just just so eyes are on it. And they'll say, "Is that a real?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah.
Here's the
So I'll do that,
problem.
but for reputation purposes,
Yeah.
if you were just a street vendor just selling it on the side, like, to all the tourists that come to town, something like that, you know what I mean? Do what you got to do. But because you have face and you're always at shows and people know you, just like,
Oh yeah.
all of us, right? We have a reputation. Even if you put the sign out,
Damn it, Mark.
in the back of their mind, somebody's going to say, you know what? Even though he had the sign, does he always put the sign out?
Oh, got you.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
See.
sometimes he
That's
sells
another video.
bogus
That's another
shit.
video.
Yeah. So
You know what's
from a salesman hustling type of point of view, I get it, but from the business legitimate type of thing I'm doing,
if you want longevity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If this is, because Rogers mentioned this, time and time again, this is not like, hey, I'm doing this just for the next 3 months. This is a long-term goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, your reputation is going to play a vital role in this whole thing. You know
what cracks me up, and somebody mentioned this to me also at the show, is that the guy that originally complained took those and he knew that they looked real and tried to resell them to somebody else.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm sure.
And then that's where the problem came in, right?
Right.
And so he's like, oh, I didn't know. I got them from such and such.
Exactly.
Yep. And then I was like, I never even thought of some dumbass trying to do that.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
never
that's
even
possible.
thought of that, dude. So
that's possible. I mean, that's just like, sometimes at these shows when I'm setting up, and, I have everything priced, everything's price stickered, it's unfortunate, but I'll have some vendors walk up and try to buy like, a good chunk of my inventory just to turn around and resell it to make a buck.
Oh yeah.
And I've had to turn vendors down so many times, and it's just, it just gets, because you know what, again, I've mentioned it before, like, I'm just not that guy. I'm all about like the community. I love ripping packs. I love watching these kids, complete sets, the whole 9 yards. I dig that part of it, So, of course my prices reflect that. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, let me charge X, Y, and Z, And I don't. I try to stay very, very, around MSRP within a few dollars, $5 or $10. Even like when Prismatic came out, and the ETBs were going for like $200, $175 for a regular one, not even Pokemon Center.
Yeah.
But at one of the shows I was doing in Oklahoma, the one we had done, the guy walked up and he saw, and that was the biggest one, because I had bought him at 70. He wanted to buy them all.
Yeah.
And I bought mine at $70. That's how much they cost me with everything all said and done, between the tax and the shipping and everything. And I had priced them, for me, it was very high. And mine, I had them at $100. But that was the cheapest one
at the show.
Out of every show. The next guy across from me was $150. The other guy was $175. And I was just like, so the kid came up and he was like, $100. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm feeling pretty bad because I'm charging that's the most I've ever charged over like MSRP.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a 50% over MSRP. So I was just like, and I feel bad about it, but everybody's like, damn, that's a really good price. So I'm like, cool. But vendors, I got to turn them away because they'll come up, and they'll try to buy all my stuff. And then again, I hit them with the tax and they're like, what? Tax? And I'm like, yeah, bro, tax. And I was like, you don't see the barcodes. I'm like, legit,
so cool,
Awesome, dude.
No, it's, at a lot of the shows when I set up shows, because, we're all there an hour before it opens to the public.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of vendors, they do that. And I see, there's a couple guys that guaranteed do that. They see what they can buy. Before the show even.
Yes, sir.
Before the show even starts.
Opens up. Yeah.
And sometimes guys kind of walk around too, just because they want to get a gauge of what competition is,
what their prices should be. Yep.
Right. That kind of thing. So I mean, that's kind of part of the game. But I think for my shows, what I also notice is, so like I have this show coming up. It's one week before nationals.
Okay.
And so that was kind of my niche before, where like before there was a big show, be it in Dallas or be it in, God, I got a fly in here. Before it's in, before it's like a Dallas show or the Nationals or something.
Yeah.
I'll throw my show like a week before that. So these guys will buy stuff here, and then they'll go to the Nationals. You know what I mean?
Ah,
With the
that's
product.
actually that's actually pretty smart. That's actually pretty smart right
So that's kind
beforehand.
of
Yeah.
that's kind of we kind of all do, like, even when I've gone to bigger shows, I buy, like when I go to the Dallas show, I'll buy Bronco stuff because nobody out there gives a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get Bronco stuff out there cheaper from their vendors, and then I come here and I can sell it for more because, again, it's always supply and demand in some way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, don't go to Dallas if you want to get cowboy cards. Go to Oklahoma or
Yeah, exactly.
Minnesota.
Oh, that's true. I should. You know, when I went to the Dallas show, but I will say when I went to the Dallas show, the selection and variety of Dallas, because I'm usually vintage Dallas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can actually find the players that I want. I can get I can get a Herschel Walker. I can get that. Whereas here, it's hard to find that at a Denver show.
I mean, I haven't been down there in quite a while, but I hear there's like at least 20, 25 card stores in Dallas area alone.
Oh wow, yeah. Dallas
might
is huge,
be.
man. Dallas is huge.
I know that Dallas card show is a 4-dayer, and there's probably 800 tables.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah,
But it's crazy. It's crazy.
The hobby.
Yeah, the same time frame that your show is going, Mark. I'm going to be up in Omaha, Nebraska.
I heard that the
Count the
show
Bless.
out there.
Yeah, so it's gas card shows, and I think he's touting it's 500 tables.
Wow.
You know, and I think I got 2 of the tables, early bird special, and I think I paid like $240.
For
You know
how
what I'm saying?
many
Like two 8-foots.
Okay.
Two
Yeah.
8-foots.
He does.
And I paid like 240, 260, 280, something like that. But like 6 months ago, I just buy all the shows out and just so I can have it. And then if I need to adjust, I'll just call them up and be like, hey, I'm
going to have to edit that part out, Angel, so no one buys all the tables.
I know, right? Ahead of time.
You're giving the trade secrets away.
Yeah, no, right? Oh my God. Well, I mean, for me, it's easier for me to plan from a business perspective,
Yeah.
Sure.
Quarter by quarter, several quarters out, and get it all paid for, so I don't have to really worry about it. And then as things get closer, adjust fire if we need to. Like, there's one show that I have that I think is going to be out in St. Louis that most likely I'm going to have to miss. So I know that I'll just, get that money refunded and put it towards a different show.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I'm in the wrong state. I need to move like either 1 or 2 states to the right or 1 or 2 states to the left,
I don't. You know what, Colorado? In the past 5 years, because like I said, I really started going to shows in like 2021. I don't know. Colorado's really grown. Like, look, I remember going to. So John Scanlon, right? I was, when I first started going to his shows, he was like in Broomfield, and he was struggling and hustling to sell 90 tables. So it's still a decent.
Wow. Yeah.
It was like 80 or 90 tables. And now look, he's selling, 300, 275 with a wait list.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. I mean, definitely the popularity seems to have spiked.
So yeah, the popularity for sure. And the popularity with the Pokemon thing, like I actually, my in-laws are actually in Japan right now on vacation. And so I told him, I said, you know what? Pick up a couple boxes for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the singles. You don't want the boxes. Get the singles.
And see, that's another thing I go back and forth with. You know what I'm saying? Is because it's much more difficult now for me to obtain product. Right. Before I used to get product like no worries. You walk in anywhere, any GameStop, and just be like, oh yeah, give me 5 boxes of that, 3 boxes of that, and just walk out and be able to come back home and rip everything and then sell singles, after I've completed a master set, sell as much as I need to. But now it's so difficult that I've had to switch focus and be like, well, now I'm selling seal products more so than I am singles.
Right.
Because I just don't have the availability to rip product.
Right.
and sell the singles at that point, you know.
If
I
you
think me and
I don't
Roger,
know
we
anything
discussed
about
this.
Pokemon, if you think I don't know anything about Pokemon.